Well, a group of more than 50 county students walked out of class yesterday in a peaceful demonstration. Rotherly Sullivan attended the protest at Houlton High School and has more.
I came out today because I've dealt with sexual harassment in the school from a young age, and it took a while for me to be able to even speak about that.
Students at the Houlton Middle High School have staged a walkout in protest of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and bullying. They say they hope to see more change within the school's administration to better support students.
People think that they can just get away with it, because it's happened to so many of my friends, including me. They just think that it's okay.
A lot of boys will come up and touch you or boobs or slap you on your bottom. People need to learn that people's own bodies are their own bodies, and no means no.
It makes me really proud that they organize this and they're trying to send a good message out there, and they're doing it peacefully, which is great.
In addition to the personal experiences, one of the inciting incidents leading to this walkout was a recent social media event within the district. According to Joe Fagnan, RSU 29 superintendent, 2 students created a private website that had a list of photos of students from Houlton and other schools. When the school learned of the list, they contacted the Houlton police, who launched an investigation. The police determined there was no evidence of any threat, assault, or harm towards the students. The school is currently working on their own Title IX investigation to see if any students were impacted.
The pictures that were on this website were actually public postings. What I want to stress to the parents and to talk to the kids is that, remember, your footprint's out there. It's very important for parents to realize that, for students to realize that.
Following the outcome of the investigation, students distributed flyers at school and online announcing a walkout. Fagnan says he reached out to the students to meet prior to the protest, but they declined. He says they have not yet shared their exact concerns with him, but he knows the protest is in relation to sexual harassment and bullying.
What we're hoping is that the information that they have or they want to see change comes to us or comes through this opportunity to meet in the future.
Currently, the school is offering student support in the form of guidance counselors, education for staff and students on social media usage, close monitoring of all school-owned technologies, and running investigations on all reported incidents. Still, the students say this isn't enough.
People think it's pertaining to the list. That was the most recent event, but it's, yes, the list, but all of the other sexual assault cases too that's been swept under the rug.
They really need to show that they care and not push everything away and make people feel like they're unheard, unseen, and in danger.
The protest began around 10 in the morning and lasted about an hour. The entire protest was peaceful, with students staying on school property and returning to class afterwards.